Hi, today we are going to talk about the issue about debt. And I'm going to call this kill debt before it kills you. Now, debt is a lot like cancer. Either you kill it right at the beginning or it will kill you slowly over time. So where does this come from? We know that people want everything now. Also, the advertising industry wants people to have stuff, and they create this urge for you to have stuff that you can't really afford. We know that when we see people buying big ticket items, buying a house they can't really afford, putting in a garden, buying the car that goes with that, so that they can impress the Joneses next door who doesn't really care for them. So why is this a problem? Because debt catches you slowly, just like cancer does, unfortunately. So if you're not wary of the effects of debt, and we see this on a daily basis, we see this with our government, the debt levels in our government, and the same happens with us in our households. If we are not diligent, if we don't have a budget, if we don't make sure we spend less than we earn, we will get in trouble. And of course I know you can't buy the house cash, but you don't have to buy the 4 or 5 million rand house if you only can afford 7 or 800,000 for the house. Don't fall into that trap. Also the car, you don't have to buy the luxury Mercedes for 1.5 million when you just start out. I know you want to do that, and some people think they actually can, because once you start doing that, you will find that you can easily fall back on your repayments. We saw now during the COVID, people really get into trouble quickly when the taps are actually closed in terms of your income. And in our video library, there's great videos, especially about having an emergency fund. But even during these times, have a larger emergency fund. Why are we saying this? Because all the assets that the advertising industry want you to think is assets is not really assets. An asset is only something that puts money into your pocket. So if you don't have an income to pay the down payments on your car or the bond on your property, really becomes a problem. And that's why we say to people, live within your means. Make sure that you do have capital to last for at least 6 months and even longer, maybe a year if you can. Now I know it's difficult, and that's why I say, please re-look at that video, because it gives you great tips. So when you carry on incurring more and more debt, you will get to a place where the banks and the normal financial institutions won't fund you anymore. And this is where people then enter into agreements where they pay exorbitant amount of interest on the debt that they incur. And this is where it really goes downhill. Because once you're there where you have to borrow to pay for your monthly expenses, you are really in trouble. And that's why I say, it doesn't come overnight necessarily. It comes slowly. So if I can say one thing, every year I put out a challenge for people to try and get out of their debt completely. As I said, it won't be possible for your house and it won't be possible for your car to pay that in cash, but make sure that you have a plan to reduce the debt as quickly as possible, because then you can really start with a great savings plan to make sure that you get to your goals over time and that you get the lifestyle that you really want to live.